be nearer, my God, to thee. Nearer, my God, to thee. Nearer to thee.
My dear brothers and sisters, prayer makes you fearless. Jesus was praying in the Garden of Gethsemane. When he was praying in the Garden of Gethsemane, he could see what was coming upon him. He could see him being arrested. He could see him being scourged at the pillar. He could see him being crowned with thorns. He could see him being beaten. He could see him being taken to the Calvary. He could see the cross being laid on his shoulder. And ultimately, he could see himself being crucified. And seeing all these, he was experiencing excruciating pain, intense suffering. And therefore, the suffering was so intense that he sweated out blood. And therefore, he on his knees, he cried out. He cried out because there was a fear of the unknown, fear of facing what was coming upon him. And therefore he cried out, Abba Bapa, if it is your will, take this cup away. But Abba Father did not take the cup away. Abba Father did not take away his excruciating pain and suffering. What did Jesus do? He continued praying on his knees. And when he was praying, he made a beautiful prayer, the ultimate beautiful prayer. Abba Father, if it's not your will, not my will, but let your will be done. And that was a moment when he experienced deep peace within himself. And the fear disappeared. Fear disappeared with this beautiful prayer. He got up. He got up to face what was coming upon him. He could see the soldiers coming with swords and lanterns. And he asked them, whom do you seek? They said, Jesus of Nazareth. And Jesus told them, I am he. And they arrested him. Then he was taken to Caiaphas and Annas. He was taken to Pilate. He faced everybody fearlessly. Pilate asked him, are you the king of the Jews? And he said, yes, you say so. Pilate also told him, it's like a warning, he gave warning, that don't you know that I have the authority to release you or to condemn you? And he said, the authority, if it doesn't come from above, you have no authority unless it comes from above. He tells him boldly that the authority comes from above, and you have no authority of your own. After that, he was scourged, mercilessly he was scourged. After that, he was crowned with thorns. The cross was laid upon his shoulder. He was taken to the Calvary, and he was nailed. He faced everything fearlessly. Fear disappeared the moment he prayed, not my will, but your will be done. My dear brothers and sisters, with anybody who is in prayer will experience this fearlessness, because prayer fills you with the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit is not the spirit of timidity. It is the spirit of fearlessness. And therefore, Jesus was fearless because he was praying on his knees and he faced everything fearlessly. My dear brothers and sisters, similarly, the apostles on the day of Easter, they also were afraid. They were afraid of the Jews. They were indoors. They had closed all their doors because they thought the Jews who killed Jesus would also kill them or attack them. And therefore they were afraid of the Jews. But they were praying. They started praying. They started praying continually. Not 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, but almost 10 days. They prayed continually. And as they prayed, the Holy Spirit descended upon them. They became fearless. They became fearless, and afterwards they came out. They came out on the street. They went to Jerusalem temple and began to preach to the same people who had crucified Jesus. They preached to them fearlessly without being afraid of anybody. And after that, they were fearless throughout their life. Throughout their life, they were fearless. They were not afraid. Some of them were beaten. Some of them were stoned. Some of them were even stoned to death. Some of them were crucified. Some of them were hacked to death. Some of them even roasted alive. But they were not afraid because the Holy Spirit was with them. And because they were the men of prayer. My dear brothers and sisters, if you are a man of prayer, you will never be afraid of anything. In life, all of us are afraid of something or the other. We are afraid of sickness, we are afraid of death, we are afraid of future, we are afraid of our careers, we are afraid of our sicknesses, we are afraid of many things. But if you are a man of prayer or a woman of prayer, you will experience fearlessness, because prayer means encounter with God. When there is God, there is nothing to be afraid of. So God fills you with fearlessness. I have lots of stories to tell you all, but one incident I want to tell you. There were 11 people who drowned at Vasai Creek some years ago. And there's a village, on a coastal village there. And the people were so terrorized, they were so afraid that they would not open the doors of their homes. They would not venture out to the sea. They would not go to the seashore. Everything was like there was a graveyard silence in the village. We went there and we prayed for 10 hours. After we prayed for many hours, but we prayed for 4 hours. After praying for 4 hours on the seashore, on the boats and all, the life returned, the joy returned, the fear disappeared. And once again, the fisher folk started venturing out into the sea. They started going to the seashore. Once again, the normal life began. All their fears disappeared. My dear brothers and sisters, prayer will help you to get rid of all kinds of fear. During exam times, many students are brought. They are afraid. When was brought, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to write. I know nothing about it. I don't want to go for the exams. I prayed over him. I told him, you know everything. You lack the Holy Spirit. I'm going to give the Holy Spirit. I'm going to pray over you. And you're going to go and appear for the exams. Prayed over him. Went and appeared for the exam. He secured 89% marks. He came for all the 6 days of the examination for prayer. So prayer will make you bold. Prayer will make you fearless. Prayer will fill your heart with real Holy Spirit, which is spirit of fearlessness. May God bless you one and all during this season of Lent, that you become men and women of prayer. God bless you one and all. All.
Though